Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Salsa Kings Live. Andres Fernandez. We're here with episode 33 with a really special episode here for you on Dance Vision with Emily and Raul, which are our Salsa Kings company members. There are our organization's professional dance couple, world champions now in the Rising Star categories, both in Salsa and Bachata, the World Salsa Summit. Super excited for everything that's to be coming for them and their future, etc. Just really quick about them. Raul was born in Pinar del Rio from Cuba. Came to the United States when he was just 10 years old. Shortly after, found himself social dancing and taking his training starting his training formally. And then as far as for Emily is concerned, Emily was born and raised in Southport, England. She came when she was 12 years old and basically was dancing ever since she could breathe. And she'll definitely tell you that story now shortly. But together as a couple, now just doing really, really big things. Really, really excited just for their growth and all of the changes that's been happening overall. And the difference that we feel that they're making in the community, just kind of pulling everyone together and really, really working hard, and just really seeing the results as far as for what, hard work and dedication and what that really means. So they decided to choose the topic of dance vision, talking about specifically intention, clarity, sacrifice, the whole 9 yards. So this is definitely a treat for you guys. But before we bring them on, we're going to go ahead and take a moment for our sponsor, which is My Dance Shirts. If you guys see, I got my dance mode on. Always, always, always. For those of you that came to class today, thank you guys. You all came with your dance mode on. I appreciate it. Great work. But definitely, My Dance Shirts wanted to let us know, to tell you, that if you want to design your own dance shirt, check me out. If you want to design your own dance shirt, send them an email, info@mydanceshirts.com. info@mydanceshirts.com. Send them a picture of something that you like, or maybe something that you've drafted yourself. We could do front, they could do back, however it is that you would like it. But if that's something that you would like to do, that they're definitely willing to honor that, as it is your dance shirt. They wanted to go ahead and kind of give some samples to see kind of like the mood and how is it that that they would like to move forward as far as for the projections is concerned. They just released some new ones. Keep Calm, I Dance Mambo. Keep Calm, I Dance Casino. You guys have seen the Dance Mode On, straight out of Bachata class. All of those really cool ones. So there's the Eat, Sleep, Mambo. There's a bunch of really cool ones on there as well. Bachateame Mami. A bunch of really cool stuff on there. So go ahead and check it out. mydanceshirts.com. We'll definitely go ahead and you'll be able to see all of that as well. But again, if you wanted to design your own, go ahead and shoot them an email, info@mydanceshirts.com, with a description, whatever. One of the reps they told me they'll get back to you and communicate with you on going about and making that happen for you, so that we can go ahead and push that out and you can have your own design up on available, etc. for sale. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring on our very special guests. Again, Emily and Raul, talking about Dance Vision. Let me see if we can go ahead and bring them on. By the way, guys, please, 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 this is open session. I can't stress that enough. We actually had some technical difficulties in the last episode, and all of you guys came through and really, really helped us out with that and letting us know. So thank you very much for that. As we were able to go ahead and communicate and get that figured out. So let's go ahead and bring these two on the call here. Let me see if I don't mess this up this time. Here we go. Hold on. Raul, Emily, can you guys hear us? Go ahead and unmute yourselves. Mic check 1 2. There you go.
Hello.
There you go.
Yo.
Look, already Pocoyo's asking, where's Emily? We already have a comment. Where's Emily? There it is.
Who is that?
Pocoyo Batita is already saying, where's Emily? I want to see Emily.
I'm here. Hello.
Beautiful. If you guys can get a little bit closer for me, so that all of our viewers can see your beautiful faces there.
Is that good there?
Yes, that looks good. How are you guys doing? Thank you guys so much for coming on the call.
Oh, we're doing great.
Thank you for having us.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Good.
So really quick, I wanted to I guess for those of our viewers that are not familiar with your guys' story, I just kind of wanted to see if you guys can share with them. I guess ladies first. Emily, if you want to just go ahead and give a little background about who you are and kind of your experience, your background, your challenges, etc. I'll go ahead and take myself off of here, so you can go ahead and I'll give you the floor on here. All right, Emily? Cool?
All right.
Yeah.
All right, take it away. Take it away.
Okay, so where do I start?
Where do you start?
I started dancing when I was 2. I joined my cousin's ballet class because I would sit on my grandma's lap like this. And one day the teacher said to my grandma, let her join in. And I went ahead and I joined in. And the teacher was like, all right, she's in ballet class every week. And that's where it started for me.
Wow.
School was a little small school in Southport, actually. Pamela Bamber's Dance School. Pamela Bamber's Dance School. That was the name of the school. Sorry, I had to think about that. And from there, wow, I'm blanking on my past right now. Okay, so started dancing ballet. From there, I got into jazz, modern, tap, all of the above. I was in pantomimes. For those of you that don't know what a pantomime is, it is like a musical. It's comical. It is a British thing. Andres, Google pantomime for people who don't know. And from there, I found out that I really, really loved to dance. So my parents always knew that it was for me, and dancing was my priority, always, over everything. Instead of being with my family on Saturdays and Sundays, I was in the dance studio for hours and hours and hours.
Nice.
I moved to America when I was 8 years old, and I started dancing with Miami City Ballet. I was with Miami City Ballet for about 3-4 years, and then I fell in love with one of my teachers there, Vladimir Isaev. And Vladimir actually had his own school called Arts Ballet Theater of Florida. And Arts Ballet Theater of Florida, I was primarily focusing on Vaganova style, which is Russian ballet. And I loved it. It was my heart. I wanted to be a prima ballerina. That was my dream. But, you know, we got to kind of, well, that's what this is all about, vision. So we're going to get to that in a little bit. But, yeah, so that was what I wanted. That was what I loved. It was my passion. Ballet, 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 all the way. And then I had a jazz teacher, Bianca. And she kind of opened my eyes to another world. And I realized that I really liked other styles. And then from there, I auditioned for a high school called New World School of the Arts, which is actually here in Miami. And I got accepted, and from there I started dancing modern dance, Afro-Cuban. I was still doing ballet and pointe as a priority, and I fell in love with the Afro and the movement and the different instruments, and it kind of like made me feel very different to ballet. It allowed me to be more free. And the ballet was a lot more structured. So it kind of opened this new door that I didn't even know existed. So that was super cool. And so from there, he's super silly. And then from there, I went ahead and was a part of New World for the high school for 4 years. Then I went ahead and I stayed there for college, went to a lot of summer intensives in Chicago, New York. I went to Denmark, to Poland. I've traveled a lot for and from dance, so I'm super grateful for that. And then I stayed at college at New World. And then when I was 17, I started dancing salsa. And I came to Salsa Kings. So that was kind of my long story. Sorry about that. And Salsa Kings was my first salsa school. I was 17 years old at the time.
I apologize, guys. Please do me a favor. You guys can get a little bit closer to each other or back away from the camera so that everybody can see you guys. I'm sorry about that.
Wait,
there you go. That's much better.
See all of our black hands?
Richard is on. One of our nuggets, saying that he's watching. He's tuning in.
Hey, what's up, Richard?
He's got an awesome profile picture.
How cute.
I love it. I love it. Go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off. Please continue.
No, it's good. So yeah, Salsa Kings kind of then took a completely other turn. So I was like, wow, I can dance and have fun at the same time. The dance was always fun to me, but now it became like even more fun, and it became social, and I got to meet people that I would never connect with. I was still known as the bunhead for like the first 2 or 3 years while I learned casino and I was dancing at Salsa Kings. And then my boyfriend at the time, shout out to Jose, he actually was like, look, because you're a dancer, you know, and Salsa Kings is only social dancing, maybe you should look into another group that also does performances with salsa.
Yes.
Just because it was in my avenue. And so he's like, look, let's go try this school. And that's actually where I met Raul. Shout out to Marilena Martinez, who's in the salsa scene, Hotspot. And that's where we met, and I was with Hotspot for about 2 years,
Yes.
give or take. And it was where I performed salsa on a Congress stage for the first time, frightened to death, playing my ballet head, thinking that I had to be this little perfect ballet dancer. Little did I know that it was all about enjoying myself and having a good time. So yeah, that's where things started there. And then after that, I ended up heading back to Salsa Kings. I took a break for a little bit. I decided, you know, I gotta figure out what I want, and then I decided I really want to dance, and I chose salsa to take that avenue. Still don't really know why, but in my heart I knew why, and today I know why even more, so it makes sense.
Beautiful.
And so, yeah, and so then I started creating my own little team within Salsa Kings with you, Andres. And from there, Raul was joining us, and I got the pleasure of dancing with Alex Pro Dance, had the pleasure of dancing with Abdel, Baila Baila, Abdel Rodriguez, had the pleasure of dancing with Albetico and Rodrigo, and these were all my partners, Christian Rojas, and I learned a lot through partner dance. It taught me a lot about my life, and it was the more I did it, the more I realized that this was for me, and it just kept on giving me the right answers. So Raul and I
Awesome, no?
directed King's Dance Company, that's what we called it, and we then had the pleasure of working alongside Jason and Jeanette,
Jason and Jeanette,
which was phenomenal experience. For
Yes.
2 years we were solid, we were strong, we still have an amazing bond with both of them. It's beautiful, we love them, like we're always the four of us like this. And that really, really even more opened my heart and my eyes and made, I think both of us, if I can speak for both of us, we were like, okay, wow, this is what we want to do. We don't know how yet, but this is what we want to do. And, you know, life turns, things happen, and, you know, the four of us weren't dancing together anymore, and we were like, all right, are we going to do this? Are we going to do this? And we decided to take the plunge, and we've been directing Salsa Kings teams ever since, and we have been dancing together professionally now for a little bit, a year and a half, per se.
Yeah, I'm saying.
And we competed for the first time, very not prepared for last summit, but the summit before that. And since then, Billy Fajardo came to us and said, I would love to coach you guys, which was like, amazing. Yes. And so since then, we've been under his direction, and he's teaching us the ways, and we couldn't be happier. And we're super excited for all the projects coming up. So
yeah, I definitely said so too.
Beautiful.
I hope I didn't talk too much.
No, beautiful, beautiful. Well, that perfectly sets the stage. Raul, go ahead and take it away, as obviously, of course, from there, then we'll go ahead and we'll talk about where you guys are at now, etc., so on and so forth, man. So take it away, brother. Start from the beginning, man. Let everybody know what's your deal, my bro.
Okay. So, you know, I was born and raised in Cuba. And obviously I was born in that essence of that culture. Yo salí meneando everywhere. Everywhere. That's all I knew about dance and music, I'll tell you that much. Because I was a wild kid. In Cuba, I would just get lost in forests, go out with friends, like non-stop, traveling back and forth. And it was a whole different lifestyle that I adopted here when I came when I was 10 or 11. Yeah, I was turning 11 at the time that I came here. And as you can hear, you hear Emily's cat. Her name is Baby.
So
She's saying hello.
I would just like to share everyone why my cat's name is Baby. For all the dancer lovers out there that know Dirty Dancing, you know the main character's name is Baby. And my favorite part of the movie is nobody puts Baby in the corner. And that is like one of the things that I live by, is that I don't allow anybody to put me in the corner. So my kitty's name is Baby Paws. When she was a kitten, she had massive, massive paws.
Doesn't she have an extra?
She's a Hemingway kitty. Yeah, Raul. She's a Hemingway kitty, so she has an extra paw.
Yeah,
so she's very vocal. So I apologize if you hear her.
Wait a minute. You said she has an extra paw or an extra?
Sorry, an extra claw, an extra toe.
Oh, an extra claw. I'm like
on her paw.
Yeah, an extra claw on her paw.
Extra claw.
Well, that would make this that would make the name make more sense. There you go.
Paw. Yeah.
There's an extra pause there. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Nice. Entonces, Pablo, that's it. So I came here and my life completely turned around. I became very shy, very enclosed, very introverted. Even though in Cuba I was very extroverted, I was all about outgoing, family, community. Like we will have a monthly, what I would call cardosa, meaning that the whole community, the whole block in Cuba will get together once a month, and everybody would chip in something to make like a huge pot. And I know they call it like in many different names all over cultures, but that's what I grew up with. And then coming here.
That's why I think I was Cuban in a past life, because I connect to that.
So coming here, I was like, what is this, yo? At 11, I was like thrown away. And I'm sure many people in general just experience that cultural change, and it takes a change in their identity, like 360 degrees. So I went from like being a straight A student, like I knew timetables times 17, like because they had us drilling that, like that. To like now I'm like, yo, what's 10 times 5? Like I'm kidding. You get what I'm saying? Like I've become so different. So when I get here, I became so introverted. And then I slowly started working my way through the language, and I picked up the language really fast. It took me about 3 years to like get out of my shell and speak English fluently, even though I was like super shy. So
I wasn't shy. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I know.
I was very like, you want me to get on stage and shake my booty? Let's go. Now I'm shy. Now I'm the shy one. So
yes.
Go figure.
So
go figure.
At the age of 15, I had a girlfriend at the time that was doing, actually an ex-girlfriend at the time. Her name was Betty. Shout out to Betty. Thank you. So thank you, because she was doing her 15s, and she was like, hey, you're doing my court. You got no option, and I would love for you to be there. So I'm like, damn. Like, I don't want to say no. We still maintain a really good relationship.
For those that don't know, that are watching this, in the Latin culture, a quince is really, really popular when a lady or a female is turning 15. He's talking to everyone that knows. I didn't know what that was, and my best friend at the time was like, oh, I'm going to do a quinceañera. You want to be a part of it? I'm like, what's that? So that's what he's referring to. He was being asked to dance in the birthday
in English is like a sweet 16.
Right.
So, I was like, sure. After I thought about it, I was in 9th grade at the time. All I cared about was football, sports, everything physical, everything sport, everything fighting based. Very like just female. Like just male type like, and nothing about like dance, nothing about free movement, yoga. I was not into that at all. Like all I was into the gym 24/7, my sports, doing track and field, and that's all I care about. So about 15, I said yes to this, and then I thought about it. I'm like, wait, what did I just sign up myself for? I can't even freaking dance. Now all I remember was just like shaking my ass and cute, like in my la gozadera. But I'm like, this is not gozadera. This is like a legit dance step. So I'm there like shitting bricks a day after practice. That's sorry, I don't know if curse words there. Anyways, it happens. So it happens. I'm there like just cagao, bro. That's not a curse word.
Oh my god.
And my Louis Noparo at the time.
Hey, Louis.
Yo, you saved my life. He was like, bro, it's easy, you got it. No, I mean, he had taken lessons at Salsa Laris, and then I think he had gone with everybody in Salsa Kings too. So he's like, this is easy, bro, you got this. And I'm like, sure, bro, this shit don't look good. It does not look good. Because he used to play football with me at the time. So we became close really fast. And then that's when I first met Maria Elena too, because Maria Elena was doing the 15s. And Maria Elena saw me, she looked at me, she's like, Pablo, this is critical.
2 left feet,
this is critical. I was horrible. And then, but I was committed, because you know what? This is what inspired me truly to a lot of extent. And in some ways it bit me in the butt, but in a lot of ways it pushed me out to my new zone of comfort, which was feeling uncomfortable from head to toe because of this dance challenge or this communication that I had to establish with people that I didn't know, which in the first place I was already afraid of starting because of my transition from left to right so fast. Yeah. So either way, Mario was like, yeah, okay, no problem. You know, she babied me. At the end of the day, like we became three really good close people, like her, Lewis, and I. And then we added on a whole new generation of lifetime friends that we have right now, like Kimo, Franklin, Jose, as well as Edgar, Ariani, Nati, like all of that group that took place in Hotspot at the beginning.
Very cool.
Flago too. I think I'm forgetting some names, but
Chave,
Claudia, and the rest that Guillermo too. The rest that joined this movement that Maria Elena started then with the teenager community to expose a little bit more of that awareness of dance can actually make an impact in your life and can actually break through so many cultural and community-based barriers that allow me, you can, but just to finish, is that allowed me to see, this is the whole dance vision, they allowed me to see so much possibility of what can take place.
Right.
So I thank her for that. I thank all the people that we interacted with in those, like, I think I lasted for like 3 years or something like that. And then I had to take turns into my own life. And then we still kept in communications back and forth, forward and back. And then we, until this day, we still do. Like, I still love her, genuinely, no matter what. And then for all the rest of the people as well, as those are lifetime friends to me because of the experience that we went through while we went through that scenario. And then for me, afterwards, it took a break because I needed to like reboot. And I'm sure some people have passed through this stage. I really needed to figure out what was really going on for me. Because the turns did not look good. And I was like, okay, so I have a 9 to 5. I don't really like it. I'm not even committed to this. I'm not passionate. And what am I doing? So then on that whole reestablishing of everything, for me, so many friends came along that opened up so many different possibilities of change when it comes to life, like my friend Natalie, like my friend Becky, like my friend Alex from Body and Brain. So great. I get emotional because for real, it changed my life.
That's what I was actually, I'm going to interrupt him while he's having a moment right now. I didn't give enough shout outs, and there's so many people I could be on here for hours. Dancing has influenced me in making right choices, and I have to go back to being a teenager. Like I said earlier, like there were so many hours that I spent in a studio as opposed to being out on the street. And even if I wasn't dancing nowadays, it's not about taking the dance path, but it's just, I really am grateful for that because it molded who I am, and like he said, it molded who he was, and it kept us out of trouble, and that's so beautiful. So that's something to, be super grateful for those that were either your instructor or your director.
Yeah.
If I can interject, guys, thank you, Raul, for your vulnerability. Thank you for the both of you for sharing the. I think it's easier to talk about how much fun it is. It's easier to talk about how much cooler you are or how many more friends you have. But I think oftentimes the overall benefits of what it really does, of something so, what a lot of people consider to be silly or not something to be taken serious, is that it really can transform your life. And for those of you that are listening, most of you are probably already on this dance journey yourself, have already gone through it or are about to start. And I again thank you for being able to be transparent and showing that, as you're allowing others to realize that, and definitely have people see the possibilities that can come out of it for the better. So thank you guys for that.
Yeah. So it all ended up, even on the lowest point of me not dancing and me not being in this position of movement and being able to share this passion with other people, or me having a clear influence on me. It kind of redirected once I gained clarity, and I decided that dance needed, like, it was a number one priority, and it must be in my life some way or another. Because
how old were you when you decided that?
When I decided that, I was turning, I'll say, like, so I had levels of decisions, because we
okay.
Yeah, me too.
I would say fast forward into the now, I really just decided to dance in this level of dance that I'm doing just about 2 years ago.
Yes.
And fully just a year ago. Like, when you commit to something 100%, and even if you say you commit to it, like, I found myself saying, yeah, I commit to it. And that was like when I was 21. I said, like, yeah, I'm gonna commit to it. I'm gonna do gigs. I'm gonna do that. I got this, like, because growing up with my Elena, not only did we learn of how to dance, but we were also exposed to that community of dance. We were the only kids in Mystique at the age of 16. Like some other cases, like sneaking into clubs.
Andres and I were there.
I mean, if I get in trouble saying this online, but whatever, Mari, like, thank you. I'll take that. But like, she did what she could to expose us into that culture and to teach us better. So I took that example, like, really meaningful. And then from there, I then redirected my whole perspective, and that's when Salsa Kings came on board again. And then for me, Salsa Kings has then taken what I came with, and starting to refine not only me as a person itself through life experience, because it's been now over 5, 6,
going into 6 years,
maybe 7 years working together, which I can gratefully say is been quite the enjoyable ride. enjoyable ride, because it's definitely, I'm not gonna paint a pretty picture, it's definitely had its rough turns, and it definitely had its curves, and it definitely had the nights where we all didn't agree with
as corny as it sounds. It's like we're like unbreakable because of all that,
though. But we've had the
which is, like, to me, like, it's me, like, all like,
yeah, we've had some really top qualities about us that I think applied universally can sustain any kind of bondship or any kind of communication. And I'm grateful to yourself, Andres, for being one of my teachers, as well as Billy, as well as all the other coaches that we train with, and everyone that we has taken private classes with. Like, for real, like, we're so grateful for that. And the turns, I started out developing again into the competitive scene, into starting to showcase and start to master this craft again on a different note, with a little bit more intent, a little bit more clarity. And then we started directing things together, Emily and I, after the 2 years, the 3-year mark. And then for a while, Chris was directing the company,
right?
And then I decided to join to continue to work together, continue to work as a group. Then Chris wasn't able to continue, and then that's when I decided to be like, hey guys, I think I'm ready to try to give it another try and to take on the responsibility and give you guys a hand with this. And that's, I think, 3 years or 4 years ago. That's when we continue with King's Dance Company, right? And then about 2 years now, is when Emily and Raul was
going into it,
was given a go. And ever since, with the training that we're receiving, with the people that we're surrounding ourselves with, the mindset that we're continuing to develop, and with the clarity that we're continuing to receive, working with these people and being influenced by everyone that we're influenced by, and everything that we're doing with everyone as much as possible. Because hey, to be honest, we're sometimes not very good at communicating, and I admit that. But I come back and be like, hey, I'm sorry, I slipped up. You know what? I slipped up. But let's work this out. And we're so grateful for everyone that has opened the doors and continue to work with us, you know, because we're really genuine and we really mean well for the community, and we want to continue to deliver as much as our energy can give to develop not only in essence, like in the younger generations of dance. We're very focused in there.
Right.
Yeah, that's
but
where
throughout, because me as a teenager or as an adult, I've seen the impact in adults too. Adults change their life because of this hobby that they just picked up and just happen to like, and I really admire that.
Daisy says, gracias por dejarnos entrar en su vida. Ustedes son fantásticos. Agradezco cada tiempo y cariño a mis hijos. So she's grateful, guys, for the work that you guys are doing with the kids. So specifically on that, she just so happened to write that at the same time that you guys were saying that. So Daisy, thank you so much for gracias por para ver a nosotros. But yeah, no, so absolutely, guys. I mean, you guys are both teachers. I mean, you guys know that the only thing a teacher wants is somebody to listen to them. Someone that wants to learn what is it that they're teaching. So, your guys is want, drive, vision, I guess primarily, which we'll get into now. That just excites a teacher. The only thing that we could ever want is for you to excel us times 20, because what is a teacher supposed to do? It makes absolutely no sense for a teacher to hold anybody back. That doesn't make any sense. This is supposed to be a building block, the same way that you guys are doing for the little ones, etc. Alex says, you guys already know I love you, and I am just so grateful because I've grown so much this past year, and you guys have helped me do that. Alex, thanks so much for tuning in as usual. You're the bomb. You're the bomb. She's killing it. She was killing it today as a lead in class, by the way, Raul.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, for sure. So let's go ahead and talk about now then. Let's talk about the now. Let's talk about where you guys how do you guys feel about, well, first of all, let them know. Let's let the crowd know the specifics about your guys' accomplishments. How do you guys feel about that? And I guess what mind shift sets need to be done to maybe perhaps maintain that or take it to the next level, etc.
Good.
Would you like for me to start?
You like that?
Well, as far as our accomplishments as a dance couple, like we mentioned earlier, last year, so not this January that just passed, but the one prior to, we actually went ahead and we competed. The routine that we competed with, we actually choreographed ourselves, so we were really excited. It was a bachata cabaret routine, and I think we didn't realize what we had created until after we went ahead and we won the Rising Star Bachata Cabaret first place. And it kind of, I mean, I'm speaking for both of us here, Raul, let me know, but it was kind of like, wow, okay. We believe in ourselves and we believe in our school and we believe in our teachings, but okay, this is like a whole nother avenue here. And it was a very refreshing, exciting feeling of, okay, we have so much more to look forward to. We have so much more to work towards, so much more to motivate and inspire us, and to look up to those competitors that we were like, oh my gosh, wow, all of them. I mean, I'm not going to name, but just every single one. Guys, World Salsa Summit champions, and you'll see them all on YouTube. But like there's so many phenomenal, and it was like a true inspiration to us. And I think for us that was something that was really exciting to be in that environment, especially myself because I come from a dance world. I come from that, you know, you're never at the top. I'm not saying that we were at the top, but we felt very like, okay, we can perform at congresses, we can compete here, we can do this, very local stuff, but there was nothing allowing us to really blossom and bloom. And then when we competed, we were like, wow, like there's so much more. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, that makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Well, I mean, for those of you that don't know, obviously, of course, you know, there's obviously, of course, socials, and then there's, you know, the congresses that cities hold, and then from there, then there's, you know, event organizers. They put together competitions, just, you know, standard. Just like any other industry, you know, there's conventions, I guess you could say, perhaps in any other, you know, business, etc. It's basically a dance convention or a salsa convention or a bachata convention, perhaps a mixture of both. Basically the best get together, and they either show off what they got or they compete.
Right.
Depending on, obviously, of course, what the stage is set for that event. So I mean, I know that when the first time that I went, you know, my mouth was dropped. You know, I mean, I didn't necessarily. I'm known to be, for those of you that know me, for those of you that don't, I can be a little critical. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, nice. Like, I'm like, this is good. This is nice.
Right.
There was obviously there was a lot that wasn't so nice. Because I don't know everything, but I've been in the game long enough to be able to differentiate what's just decent and what's really, really nice and really, really good. And a lot of it was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Like, had to stand up on your feet and give a round of, like, had to give a round of applause. And it's obviously, of course, you know, having known you guys since you were teenagers, seeing you guys just on the same floor with these guys is just phenomenal, and I commend you both, you know, for being able to do that, obviously, and having the results that you've had in such a little time.
Thank you.
And
like that, like kind of like we don't really realize that. I think even till this day we're kind of like, okay, wow, like wow, like, which is awesome.
Yeah, well, aftermath, when we reflected, we're like, we just did that.
Right, like this past year, we competed in the.
We just did that
in the pro division for both salsa and bachata, and we were like, we're going up against the people that we bowed down to. We're like, oh my goodness, like this is amazing.
Yeah. And that's a big deal. That's a really big deal, guys. And again, and this is right on topic as far as for, you know, just kind of making the decision, you know, to be able to make it happen and then not judge yourself and just go for it. And, you know, I think I've mentioned this in other webisodes before that, you know, at first you got to be really bad, and then you're just going to be okay, and then you'll be decent, and then you'll be good, and then maybe one day you'll be a champion, but it's in that order.
Right.
I think because of, you know, and I've mentioned this before, I always end up saying this, it's so, since everything is so compacted, everything can be learned so quickly, everything can be executed so quickly, that results can actually come really, really quickly once that decision is made, as kind of like just everything just speeds up, you know, in this day and age, especially as we move forward, etc. So, okay, so then moving on with this, why, let's get into the specifics. Why, for those of you that don't know, every single one of our interviewees selects their topic for their interview. We don't do that. Salsa Kings Live doesn't do that. We bring on the guests based on their merits and who they are and what they've done for the community, etc. And then they select their own topic of choice, and basically the message that that they want to deliver to you. And so thank you all for tuning in. So why Dance Vision? Why Dance Vision? What does that mean to you? What message are you trying to deliver to our viewers? And how can that help them with maybe not necessarily just dance goals, but with anything?
It is the seed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let Raul explain, but like that's my answer. It is the seed. It is the beginning. It's everything, and it's so. Go ahead. You can explain.
Yeah. So in other terms, I think we decided upon the dance vision. On a personal level, Emily and I are both very visual when it comes to creation or creating or wanting to create something. Like we're both very visual at first. We just kind of gather those details about us as through our work and through all the time that we spend training together. So we found that our vision is highly sensitive. We visualize things first. We start to regain a clear image as far as to what is it that we want to do.
Raul, I apologize. You froze for about 5 seconds. If you can restart for everybody, I do apologize for that.
I'll try to say as much as possible as perfect. I said it, but anyway.
Oh, we're having guys. If you guys can check your internet connection for me, guys, I do apologize. Can you hear me? Are you still there?
This is coming out on the fly, either way. But are you following me there? Because it sees a connection problem.
Are we good?
All right, you guys still with me?
Yep.
Are we good?
All right. Yeah, I think we're okay now. I think we're back on.
Okay.
So, so the vision is part of a big part of what we do when it comes to, for us to, number one, to create a map and a blueprint of what we want to achieve as a couple, what we want to achieve.
We're both really visual.
In our community, what is it that we want to give back to the community by doing these things? And the last step for us will be to, why are we really wanting to create this? For what results?
Before we even do anything.
Like we sit sometimes for months, and sometimes it gets to us. Sometimes it helps us tremendously. It's just something that we're calibrating as a unit, and we figured out as far as to our dance and our dance vision and our dance training, our goals, etc. We always start by sitting in and just starting to visualize what we want to do, and most important is to why we want to do it.
Right.
Beautiful. Okay, so then I think I've mentioned this before as well. In summary, like kind of like just beginning with the end in mind. So kind of like knowing what do you want to do to then like to see okay, I would like, starting off with saying, okay, I would like first. Is that am I saying that correctly? Is that about right? Okay, so then for you guys, then
more even like 100% clarity.
Yeah,
that's like our biggest thing.
Because we start listing those things and then we start visualizing those things.
Because even if you talk about it, sometimes it might not be 100% clear. So it's like being completely in sync with the vision and the image. And
so the first thing that sorry about that.
Yeah. No, just really quick, just to add in, there's so many there's so many coaches out there that that they want to always advise everybody to put their thoughts onto physical anything, paper, etc. That the electronics is not the same. To put it down into physical paper, put it in to manifest it physically. If it's just a word, just put your pen down and put the word champion, put the word money, put the word whatever it is that you're looking for, to then be able to go ahead and push that out. I think we're trying to reconnect with Emily and Raul again. Give us 1 second, guys. Let's see if I can call them back. Give me 1 second. But thank you all for tuning in. I really, really appreciate that. We're just about to get into really, really good stuff here. I'm going to go ahead and give them a call back here. But yeah, absolutely, guys. As far as there's so many coaches, there's so many mentors that advise to do the same thing. So apparently, this is one of the tips that they've been talking with you guys about, to go ahead and push that thought and put it into the real world. Okay, so it says that they're not online, so they may have an internet connection issue right now. They might have disconnected. I'm sure they're getting right back on now here in a second. There we go. All right.
Hey!
All right, hold on. Let me bring you back on. All these guys, they blew up the comments and they were like, "Where did these guys go? We missed them."
Yay! We miss you too. We love everybody.
So we were talking about putting it. We were talking about the manifestation, putting it into the physical world, and writing those goals down, starting with the vision to then be able to put it down. Then what are the steps from there?
So for us, we once we write them down and we get clear in this, and number one, just to state something really, really obvious for us, clarity is power.
It really is.
The clearer we are about this vision or this goal or this action or this feeling or whatever we want to embody through our movement, through our actions, through our thoughts, through our
intentions,
through our concepts, through our hearts, everything, the clearer we are, with as much ease as possible. So in other words, because like we for us, planning, when it comes to planning, it equals creating. For us to be a co-creator of our reality, of our lives. So when it comes to that, when it comes to creating, we create with our vision, we create with our feelings, we create then with our languages. We start to speak about these ideas. And then, like, once we have built so much momentum with our clear visions, with our feelings behind this idea, with how we're going to make people feel, how we're going to feel through this process, how we're going to impact our community by doing this action or by taking this.
Who is it going to help?
We do our best to remain that formula, to stay with that formula as much as possible. That we're going to be disclosing as we go on and as the question.
Okay, great. Again, guys, I'm not sure if you hear me right now, but we're getting connection issues here with you guys. I don't think they hear me. I'm going to go ahead and give them a call back. But that's really interesting, guys. As I give them a call back here, they're talking about clarity to the level of people that don't even involve them. Talking about having it so clear, every little detail that they want. Hey guys, are you back? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we're here.
Hey, we're here. Are you okay with this?
Yeah, okay. No, it's fine now. But no, I was just reiterating to our viewers here that is very, very interesting, the level of clarity. I mean, I think everybody knows that it's important to be clear.
Yeah.
But it's another thing. It's another thing to have the clarity that you guys are talking about, and that's definitely really, really powerful because, according to the theories, right? I mean, I'm not saying that I believe it or that I don't, just remaining neutral. But basically, you can have anything that you want. So if you can have anything that you want, so then why not get really specific? And the more specific that you get, the more clear or the more direct that we're going to be able to manifest that in particular, which is really, 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 really good stuff.
Andres, did you hear what Raul was saying about 80% why and 20% how?
No, I did not. Please.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, so
our Instagrammers heard it written out on here.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want him to repeat that because that's kind of like what you were just saying.
Our first formula, once we start embodying these clarity with feelings, and then we start to speak this clarity with those feelings, we practice on a daily things, just like we practice our rehearsals, we practice our mindset, we practice our habits, we practice our belief systems, we practice every day. Like we check in with our systems constantly
with our own systems and with each other's systems.
To be able to hold each other accountable. Number one, to keep each other on track, because there's some days where I'm like, hey, come on, I feel you lazy today.
Oh yeah.
And then some days she's like, come on, Papa, let's go, keep up. And I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Let's go. But we're strongly believing now, and we're starting to practice this belief to our practices and to everything that we do, is that 80% of anything we want to do is a why. If we have a clear enough why, into what we want to do, 80% of our job is done.
Right.
And now the next 20% is to
let's go.
Literally go through that process that we just discovered to start speaking it into language and start putting it into action. And then that's when the how comes into everything that we start to do moving on here.
And when we didn't do this, it was a completely different experience. Like,
sure.
It felt like we were like in a little boat, like in a vast ocean. We were like flying. I always feel like those Hot Wheel commercials. You know how they launch the cars like X. That's how we feel sometimes. We're like, yo, here we go on another roller coaster ride. Yeah. So ever since we started to implement that, guys, for real, like our scheduling took a shift, our management took a shift, our visions took a shift. Everything started to shift so
our experiences
and our lifestyle. And we treated this as a practice, meaning that it needs to be practiced. It's like a muscle, but it's not a bicep.
You can't just do this to it.
Right, absolutely. No, but your mind is very much a muscle, which is, you might not have to go to the gym for it, but you definitely have to train it. And there's so much literature on that and practicing the mindset and battling those demons, if you will.
We have to thank you, Andres, for giving us your audiobooks.
Oh,
that's true. Thank you for sharing your audiobooks.
Thank you for sharing. He got started.
Well, that's phenomenal. That's
all of his audiobooks.
I'm glad that you guys are taking advantage of that. And I think when we did the episode with Moshe about Aventura Dance Cruise, we were talking about exactly that as well. And just there's so much time that you can just intake information that you don't have to run into the same barriers that other people already have. All that we would ever want. Or all that anybody would ever want is for everyone to learn from the mistakes that they made to then be able to discover new things that they never could because they were dealing with the other stuff. So if you can pass that, then by all means, that's phenomenal. That's wonderful.
Yeah, there's this really, really influential person. His name is Jim Quick. You'll probably heard of him or have heard of him.
Yeah,
if not, look him up. Jim Quick, along like Tony Robbins, Russell Branson, all of these influential people, not only on the business world, but on a spiritual sense as well. Like there's a lot going on. But Jim Quick said once in something that I watched from him that when you're able to take decades of information from history and be able to absorb it in 3 days, that is a superpower that us humans can have.
Absolutely.
And I mean, his work is incredible. And if you want to connect to him and everything that he's about, look him up. Also, look Mind Valley Academy. Amazing stuff you'll find. They always have free class.
What's it called? I'm sorry?
Mind Valley.
Mind Valley Academy.
Mind
His
Valley
Cuban
Academy.
accent.
Hopefully Vixen,
Valley.
Hopefully Vixen, the founder of Mind Valley Academy, hears me shouting them out.
Awesome. Beautiful.
So either way, Mind Valley Academy is an online university, like people like Jim Quick and there's so many to mention. Tony Robbins as well. There's so many. Gary Vee. Everybody goes through his school to put a curriculum together for people to evolve as people with whatever they're doing. Because I'm sure if you get influence in an area of your life, that will also have an effect on everything else, and that's what that vision is all about. It's not only envisioning this effect on a manifestation level, like on a I got all that thousands of dollars in the bank now, boy, but then you just go out as fast. They're like gone.
Right.
So
absolutely.
We gotta practice how to sustain that energy without the actual manifestations.
Right.
And it's easier said than done, but trust me, guys, that there is a way. And there is practical things that we can do in our busy lives for 1 minute a day. Thank you, Alex.
No matter what you're
in
doing.
Body and Brain, they're pushing this so strong. Ep30 Foundation, look them up. They're pushing this so strong. I'm a huge believer about them. Because not only did they transform my life 360 degrees, but also they are now promoting the 1 minute a day challenge. And 1 minute a day challenge is basically like a high impact train for yourself. And then in our dance vision, we incorporate this type of this type of attitude in it. Like we'll take a minute a day to just do something 100% boom. Like just 1 minute, go 100% boom. Mm-hmm. Nice. And then that directs our focus a little bit more fluent.
You're just saying that the challenge is to be able to focus with 100% intensity for that 1 minute.
Focus, period, 100%. Because I think we tell everybody, yeah, you need to learn how to focus. You need to learn how to focus. We need to. How do we do that?
Right.
So
okay, so it's to practice, to literally train on focusing.
Exactly.
Makes perfect sense to me. That sounds phenomenal. That sounds great. I mean, I again, it's so easy to just kind of just respond.
Yeah.
To everything, and we're just outwitting the devil, Napoleon Hill, drifters.
Yeah.
And we just kind of get pushed by the energy, as opposed to, no, it doesn't matter what's happening. You part the Red Sea, if you will, and whatever it is that you decide, you just go for it and you do it. That's phenomenal stuff. Guys, we've been on here for 56 minutes already. So talking about the future, powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. I'm going to ask you at the end to please go through some of those resources again with a little bit more clarity, so our viewers can go ahead and find them. But basically with these tools that you have and that you've been utilizing specifically for your dance vision, if you don't mind sharing, what are some of the goals that you guys have? Obviously, of course, with the belief that you have. I was going to say knowledge, but it's not even about the knowledge. It doesn't even matter. But the belief that you can do whatever it is. So what is that? If you don't mind sharing, what would that be? What is that? Because that's some powerful stuff right there.
For me, I want to say the first thing is bringing Latin dance into the dance world. And what I mean by that is a dance school that you attend will have right, Latin classes. They will be respected the same as ballet, modern, jazz. Magnet schools will have Latin classes. And when I refer to Latin, I'm referring to salsa, bachata, samba, partner classes.
If I can interrupt you, I'm sorry. Yeah. When you say the same respect, what do you mean by that?
I don't want to say unfortunately, because I don't know if that's the right word to use, but unfortunately, when you go into a dance school, Latin.
What do you mean a dance? I obviously understand what you mean.
Okay.
But when you say a dance school, are you
because it's coming from a social aspect, it's not represented, or the, I guess the.
You mean by the mass?
Yeah, like it's people that are in the dance world don't understand that there is curriculum to salsa. There is curriculum to bachata. There are principles.
I apologize. This is like a third time. I apologize for cutting you off. But when you say the dance world, what is that? What do you mean the dance world? What is that?
A school or a company in ballet, jazz, modern.
Okay, so you're referring to those styles. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so then would you say formally that those are classical styles? Is that correctly said, or
they've just been in the game longer? Honestly, it's not that they're more classical or not. They're just
mature styles.
Sure, maybe. I mean, like breakdance and hip hop. They came from the streets. Just like Latin dance. But you go to a dance school and hip hop and breakdance are taught. So why is salsa not taught? Why in my magnet school that I attended did I not receive connection dance? I think especially for children, it is so important for them to learn to touch another person. The first day our kids are in class, they're like, ew, he has cooties, she has cooties. And we joke about it, but that's something like
real story,
that's deep, that's deeply rooted. And I think that that's why these kids are texting, because they don't know how to communicate with one another. So it's so much deeper than just the physical or the dancing. Right. It's connecting, it's communicating. The only kind of partner dance I ever did as a kid in a dance school was pas de deux, where, I mean, those that don't know what pas de deux is, it's the French word of two people dancing together, where the man basically picks up the lady and the lady shows off, and he is there to be her anchor. There's no connection. Unless you're playing the role of like Romeo and Juliet, where you're in love and you kiss at the end. But even then, it's very like distant. There's no real. It's not a organic connection. It's a forced. You're acting.
And you're saying that salsa does that. Salsa.
Absolutely, all Latin, salsa, bachata. That was why I fell in love with it, because it allowed me to learn how to follow in dance, but also in life. Like, it teaches the follow and the lead so much more than just
it goes way
dance.
beyond.
It's so much deeper. So I think for me, one of the biggest things that I want to accomplish as an instructor and artistic educator is to bring that awareness to the dance world. And I'm sorry that I use the word dance world, but I'm really not quite sure how else to talk about it.
Okay.
Or to say it.
Well,
but yeah,
that's everyone understands you now. Okay, no, we're good.
But it's awesome that World of Dance does have Karen and Ricardo on there, and Jonathan and George.
Absolutely.
So it is developing. But for me, the television world is one thing, but I'm talking about like in the education system. I'm talking about in dance schools. Like in education, like in schools. Like I said, I came from a magnet school. I experienced it. I just think that's so valuable on so many levels. And so for me, having dance, to have Latin dance respected in that world is really important.
Well, why isn't that the case now?
That's a great question, and I don't know.
Well, what I can say, I couldn't answer the why is that the case now, because it is.
Actually, no, I can I can answer.
If I would like to add something just quickly, so then you can continue.
Okay.
Would be to what we can do as a community. I can share it, what we can do, and some ideas that we can do as a community to bring up the importance of why should partner dancing, not so much about salsa, bachata, souk, all of those dance styles can be involved. I'm not saying, but just partner dancing in general.
Sure, at the waltz.
Or partner activities.
All partner activities of dance, of working out, can take an implemental structure, can be integrated within what's happening right now with our kids.
Okay.
With what's happening now with our schooling system. If we can bring enough awareness to that subject and bring out the importance of not only for the adult community, not only on injury prevention.
That's a big one.
Yeah, but as well as kid communication, one-on-one, social environment, social educations, motor skills, coordination, agility, able to correspond, able to have social cues, able to deal with stress of learning, able to mechanically and emotionally move through what triggers that person. This little body that's growing and experiencing is getting frustrated. I remember being so frustrated. And then I would just start kicking and punching and jumping. And that was a way of releasing. So why couldn't dance in general, partner dancing, be part of that global influence to be able, because I know some private schools have that curriculum. I know certain countries have this curriculum. We're here in the U.S. right now, but U.S. doesn't really strengthen that part of the curriculum because it's busy doing something else, which is another conversation. But our dance vision encompasses this kind of influence and this kind of touch to deliver with partner dancing, if I can add that to what you were going to say.
To answer your question as to why, I think it has to do with the fact that it's viewed as a social dance. So Latin dance in general is viewed as it's what you do with your family on the weekend, it's what you do at a club, it's what you do, which there's nothing wrong with. However, it's benefiting all those people there. Why can't it benefit? You know what I mean? It's just very, the salsa world is very tiny. The Latin world is very tiny, is very kept here. And I want everyone to know how beautiful it is,
Yeah.
and how much it can help everyone in so many ways, including children.
In addition, if I can just add something really quick, this is just imagine theory for our dance vision, right? Imagine that all of us put our heads together and be like, why is this really important? And why should we bring it to our community now? Even because in Cuba, this kind of things will go on. Even if, like, at least for where I live, even if the community didn't want it to have as a reoccurring event, people still supported the fact that they wanted to have this establishment in place. So meaning if we give enough importance and we build enough curriculum material, not only physically, but theoretically, as well as vocabulary, as well as a structure of a system to implement for the year-round that is including all of the priorities of, per se, in our county, Dade County, I think if we bring this all wrapped up in a gift basket, y se lo regalamos, le decimos, mira papi, for all my Dominicans, for all the tigres, mira papi, te dejo un regalito, okay? Eso para que lo vea, porque this is really important. It's really important to our community. Our kids are growing with more phones and less touch.
Right.
And this is really, really like an important case to us.
I think you hit that on the head, man. I think it's kind of like having the complete package. It's almost like we kind of got to get our stuff together.
And we cannot do it alone.
Right.
Like, this is not a one-man job. This is a community job. This is more of a state job.
Right.
All of the states need to, like, I would really recommend, and if anybody's interested here, yo, you let me know. I am so
forward. You let us know.
Or you let us know. You shout out. Because if you're going to let me know, you're going to let us know either way. But what I really mean is that if we put our heads together, and we implement the theoretical structure for a plan for a whole year, and the year to come after that, and we give the quizzes, we give the assignments, we give the practical and the theoretical at the same time, including these skills that they need to always attend by the states.
Right.
I think we have we're going to have a better shot as a community than just one person wanting, or a group just wanting to do it alone.
Right. So then you're talking about, if we can, I guess we could ground this a little bit more. You're talking about a dance curriculum, not just the actual movement part, but actual tests. It's an example, but that type of deal, that type of like grading, like a way to see how it's progressing, to measure, right?
And scale it. Because for example,
there's so many different avenues.
Like just one simple little thing that we can do right away. Let's say we measure the social skills of a 13-year-old, and we measure the social skills of an 8-year-old, and we see how they're able to handle social emotions and social pressure, and how they're able to, those things are measurable and those things are quantifiable. We can do science experiments all day long if they want to.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, a year after, let's take a look at this 13-year-old and let's take a look at this 8-year-old and see where they are emotionally, where they're at physically, how well do they feel in their bodies. Like, everything about dance that transmits to life will adapt and will give a more reason and more meaning, because our dance vision, it encompasses this. And I know there's a lot of people behind this, and I'm willing to let's go and let's sit and let's move on with this, because it's really important.
Well, I think the challenge, unfortunately, the challenge is going to be, since because it's not necessarily measurable, it's more of an intangible thing. It would be more so like interviewing the 8-year-old, or now the 9-year-old, interviewing the 13-year-old that is now the 14-year-old, and saying, hey, how has dance impacted your life? And then be able to just kind of like spill it out. I don't know what kind of credibility that would have with the government. I don't know anything about that. But hopefully it has some type of weight. It would have some type of weight if you have enough people. I mean, you guys know, just in our testimonial videos alone, I mean, we have on there you know, which you guys can see if you guys don't know on our app. You can scroll down on the testimonials tab. We're so proud of that video, and thank you for every single one of you that have submitted to that, contributed to that in your case. You know, we may need to. Hey, you know, maybe we need to do that. Maybe we need to focus more on that. As a Kings fam member, you need to testify on how this has helped you, or why are you still here? Why are you still dancing? Share your experience, you know, and maybe if we have 1 million people, let's just say, you know, that maybe they'll look at us, you know, but that's worth a shot. That's worth a shot, and it's beautiful.
Exactly. I feel like it's more worth it than not doing anything about it.
Of course, 100%.
And again, I'll keep mentioning that this is gonna take all of us.
Oh,
this is bigger than all of us. If we want our roots of partner dancing as a whole, regardless if it's from Puerto Rico, Africa, doesn't matter. Cuba, it doesn't matter. Europe, it doesn't matter. It's partner dancing as an essential part of interacting for us.
Sure.
So our dance vision, going back in there, it inquires a lot about that. And hopefully with just this request, we can start to move closer as a unit. And what I mean as a unit is like, I mean all of us in our dancing. Let's really bring the attention.
It starts off in the academies. It goes to the cities.
Education system.
Then it goes to the states. But even before the education system, it would the actual community itself needs to unite so that the entire community can then go to the powers that be, if you will.
Well, in regards to that, I do have to thank the congresses that we attend.
Yeah.
They always allow us to bring our kids' teams.
Oh my
and
God,
that means a lot to us because, you know, we understand that we're a tiny little piece of sand on a big beach, but our small groups of kids, you know, that them being able to represent these Latin styles on a stage, you know, and then their families and their friends see it. Just it's already like I get goosebumps getting, you know, talking about it. Like, so I thank those local events and congresses that have allowed our kids to perform, because for us we're already like stepping stones going, like we talked about, that goal that we want to get to.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but like more important too, like I briefly want to say thank you to everyone involved, including the parents of all the kids that actively dance today.
Yes.
And I would suggest too,
thank you, Mom and Dad.
if your daughter doesn't necessarily want the partner route as a dance career, have her experience that, please, because having one person dealing with his own self is one thing. Having one person dealing with another through a constant communication without words, it's a whole different type of challenge that we culturally can benefit for generations to come.
Amen. Absolutely.
It will just learn how to deal with everybody. Makes sense? Like we learn how to communicate even without words since kids. So imagine at 30 years old, the things that we can do. Like, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
So I really commend and I'm so grateful for all the parents and all the active people, not just parents, because el tío, la abuela, la sobrina, la prima,
la abuela,
el amigo de la abuela, del tío, del primo que salió del trabajo came to pick, because that's how
everybody.
That's how my dance career was.
Yeah.
Like it was a constant call, like trying to figure it out. And my mom did not have supports or any means to support me in this dance journey. So I'm like, no, I can't ask anything of you. You're working 3 jobs already. Like, how can I ask more of you?
Right.
You know, so it was like that community got me through that. So including all of that in the dance vision as well.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's absolutely phenomenal. Guys, we're gonna go ahead. I mean, unless you guys have more to say, I think that's a beautiful, guys. That's a beautiful vision. It's definitely, it's painted to the end. It's gonna take a while. Hopefully, not as long as we may think. You know, so you know,
If you're watching this video,
Yeah.
way to the end,
Yeah.
and you want to help, you want to be a part of this, you want to have a say, you want to donate, you want to, I don't know what you can do to help, but
Right.
you know, like Raul said several times before, this is something that needs to be done as a unit, as a culture, as a representation of what we all love to do.
Yes.
And we do not want to do it alone.
Right. Well, it's impossible. It will be impossible by nature. By nature, it's impossible to do. So by everyone coming together and really, really making this a priority, is it can definitely manifest and make it happen.
I wanted to add one last thing in regards to our dance vision. 3 years ago, we visualized people wanting to help us just for no reason. We visualized people collaborating with people that believed in everything we did, because back then we didn't believe in ourselves either way. So we want to thank a lot of individuals that took place. Like let's name a few. I know if I miss someone, please don't get offended. Like, I really didn't try to intend to not say your name, but definitely, like we mentioned already in the top, Billy Fajardo, yourself, Andres, Maria Elena, your dance teachers. Exactly. All of the people that were mentioning in before, as well as everybody that continues to support us. Like
Daniel Lewis, Medina, Duro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Congress event promoters, as well as directors like Rudy, Christian, as well as Jose, Frank. Diva is always supports us with our local event. Noche Divina with Rosa, as well as who am I forgetting here?
Renee, Miami Congress.
Renee with Miami Congress.
Miami Salsa Congress.
Exactly.
George
Bachateando with Charun. Who am I forgetting here?
Local artists, Mario and Jeanette, Alex and Romy.
Mario and Jeanette, Alex and Romy, thank you so much for working together now, as well as. And if I miss anybody, I'll just put it in the comments as I go. But right off the top of my head, like, thank you to all of those individuals. To Neri and Gianna.
Diana, Abdel.
Exactly. So many people to thank, like, honestly, because they're just willing. They're willing to collaborate with us. They're willing to help in any case. And
Jonathan,
Roy from Orlando. There's so many people that we're meeting now that are just in the same space and wanting the same for everyone around. So, for real, thank you.
That's phenomenal. Guys, for time, we're going to go ahead and open it up for a question and answer. For those of you that are that have been with us for over an hour and 15 minutes now, we love you guys so much.
We've been, could be your longest one.
For sure. I think we broke the record for the longest episode for sure. But guys, let's go ahead and open up. Let's go ahead and open up for the floor, guys. If you have any questions for Emily and Raul whatsoever, now's definitely the time. Anything specifically about their past, about their present, about their future, what their favorite food is. If Raul has any pets, because we know that Emily already has a cat named Baby with an extra claw. Not a paw, but an extra claw. Definitely feel free to come on down. We'll feature your question here, and we'll go ahead and get that answered as best as we can. If there's any tips also as well that you're looking for from these champions, by all means, guys, go ahead and don't be shy to go ahead and say. But if not, guys, otherwise, thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you guys so much for being vulnerable. Thank you guys for sharing your vision with us. Thank you for acting on your vision. I think that's probably where I can come in the most. And thank you, because I always tell you guys, and I even shove it in your face, actions speak louder than words. And when you guys step forward into actually doing what you say, you separate yourself from 99% of those people. Because there's a lot of people that talk, and obviously, of course, that's part of the process. We were all there. You know, we all had to first talk about it to then build the courage to then do it. So for those of you that are at the same time, and you're talking to yourself, and you're talking to yourself, and you're talking to yourself, keep doing that. Keep talking to yourself, but make it a point to one day make that decision.
Yes.
You know, and again, I admire you guys for making that happen. But I also want to challenge you. Just know that there's always the next gear. There's
Absolutely.
always the next gear. And now that you've made that decision, okay, you got this vision. Okay, well, you know what? Let's triple that vision. You know, let's go. Like, you know, whatever your dream income is, let's triple that. You know, okay, well, what's it going to take to do that? And write that down, or whatever it is your goal. Obviously, of course, it's easy to talk about money these days and age, but the point is thank you guys for sharing that with us, because I know that, you know, obviously, of course, being both on the YouTube, on the channel, as well as in the podcast, you know, there's definitely going to be a lot of listeners that are hopefully going to take a little golden nugget from this. We've officially, what's it called? Your information is officially immortal. So thank you. Jennifer says, I'm so proud of you guys, your journey and vision. Jenny, you're the bomb. But you knew that already, Jenny. But awesome, guys. If you guys do you guys have any last words, I guess, at all before we close out on this beautiful Monday night?
Honestly, for me,
do what you love, guys.
Exactly.
Life is short. Follow your passions.
Nice.
For me, is believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself.
Believe in
You really
yourself
can
and believe
achieve
in your capabilities of achieving whatever it is.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
Never limit yourself. Never limit yourself.
So
no matter what.
If there's anything that I would say is that believe in you. I took a chance on believing in me. I took a chance on believing in us, and I took a chance on believing in everyone that took place in my life, and it has led me up to this point, which I'm eternally grateful for. So if there's anything that I have to say, for my part, it would be just to believe in you and what you do,
and trust the process. Trust it. Enjoy it.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Also, that reminded me that feel good no matter how circumstances seem.
That's another big one. Big one. Absolutely.
Maintain that good feeling, even though you're frustrated. You're like, you know what, I'm frustrated, but this is working. So I'm going to focus on that is working. Yeah. Focus on what is working, and then you can continue to come back and focus on what didn't work.
Yeah, choose to focus on the positive, not the negative.
Okay? I would just say that.
I'm 100% de acuerdo. For those of you that are a little bit more like me, I'm a nerd. I'm by the book. I like facts. I like tangibility. These are facts. These are tried and true, real, energetic principles that are proven for success in whatever you find success to be. These are not airy-fairy things. It sounds like it, and that's the first challenge that you have in the believing. And that's a huge deal. And the reason why I put emphasis into that is because I'm talking to myself, of course. In that sense, is so that if you're hearing this, is but it's all about that wishy-washy stuff. And and not really. Every bestseller, as far as for literature is concerned, says the same things. They're the same principles that are there, accessible to you with a free library card. So guys, again, let's use each other. Let's use our experiences for our own growth, for our evolution. And it's so funny how we're in dance, but it always ends up tying back to however this can benefit you, the viewer. So thank you for watching. Emily and Raul, thank you for your words.
Thank you, Andres.
Yes, no, thank you guys again. Salsa Kings Live, episode 30, Dance Vision with Emily and Raul.
Yeah.
We're signing out, guys. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful night.
Peace, y'all.
Love and all to all.
Bye-bye.